Hello everyone, welcome to English 300 Action Lit and Film for Spring 2017. This is Dr. Shelley Rodrigo. I'm your careers director. I have two other assistants this semester. I'm really excited. You'll be meeting Mark Ferrier and Daniel Casper a little bit later. They'll be putting up their own introductions at various locations. But the purpose of this video is to get you in here and get you started quickly. We will have other opportunities to get to know one another as we go. This page is the home page for the course. It's looking very empty right now because there's no announcements. It shall fill up promptly, I promise. When this video is done, it'll be the first announcement. So home page. Up along the top is the menu bar. Over here up on the left is content. That's where you'll find kind of all the instruction for the course. Over here on the right, discussions, assignments. There should be links to these always from within content, but if for some reason it's not working, you can go into discussions and assignments, and we'll talk a little bit about that more. Grades, your list of grades as they get added in there. Class list, we are close to 130 students, or maybe even over 130 students at this point, so there's a lot of you. And then course admin is what I see. You probably don't see that link. Anyway, so let's go into content. This is the main way when you hit the course. So when you hit the course, let's go back. You should always check announcements, and I would make sure you're checking announcements at least 2-3 times a day. The course will only have one deadline a week, except this first week. Normally you'll have deadlines on Wednesdays. This week I'm asking you to check in by Saturday, do a little bit of work so I know you're here, I know you're getting started. And then the second half of the week, if you will, due by next Wednesday. Everything else will be going forward Wednesdays. But let's look into content. Again, things will look a little bit different because I'm the instructor and I see things that you don't see. So right now, if we're on the schedule due dates page, and there's a lot more here, if we show this, what you see, you should only see check-in and due date number 1. But let's quickly go up to about the course. Again, over here on the left is the main menu bars. Once you're under content, you'll want to work about the course. Course description and outcomes, just a sense of what you're doing, why you're here. This is a Tier 2 Gen Ed Arts class at the University of Arizona, although I do know that a good number of you are also English majors, not necessarily all of you. I have designed this course really to focus on the learning objectives on this page, so by all means read them. And so you know these learning objectives were adapted from the university's Tier 2 Arts Gen Ed curriculum objectives. So there's a lot of emphasis on understanding form, how literature and film works, and then when you adapt them, how things happen differently because they're in different modalities. Yes, by all means, read the course description. More importantly, read the learning objectives so you understand where we're going and why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, syllabus. It's also from this link. What you'll notice is that the syllabus takes you out to a Google Drive document. As long as you are logged into your University of Arizona email, you should be able to see this document. If you go up in the upper right-hand corner here you can see my email address, so it means I'm in that account. I have multiple Google accounts. The reason I do this, and you're required to do this for homework, is that it gives you the opportunity to write comments and ask questions about the syllabus on the document. So for example, you can highlight words or phrases, and then either over here on the right a little comment window pops up, or you can go up to, I think it's tools. There we go. No, that's not tools. Insert. There we go. Go up to insert comment, and so you can leave comments for us. And what that'll do is it'll basically start a discussion in the document, and you have the ability to reply, and you'll have the ability to reply to one another if you wish as well. So some of our assignment prompts will also be this way for the exact same reason. So you can go in and ask questions about the course, about the assignment. So please realize this week you do actually have an assignment of going in, reading the syllabus, and asking at least one question or making one comment. It's to make sure you've hit this document and also to make sure you understand how to use Google commenting features. Okay, so syllabus, by all means, please read the syllabus. A couple things on the syllabus I want to draw your attention to. Hold on, let's make this bigger. There we go. Course materials. The only thing you will be required to purchase is this McGraw Learning Space document, and it's going to be through Inclusive Access. That's through the bookstore. Here's the main thing I want to draw your attention to. You technically have the ability to opt out. However, please realize that the digital space does not only include the textbook materials, it also includes a lot of activities that you will be responsible for the course. So there's a lot of quiz activities that you will be responsible for in that environment for the first half of the course. And then we'll also be using this application within the environment called Power Process that will guide you through academic readings also in that space. So all that to say is really, although you technically have the opt-out option, please don't do it, because if you miss that, if you opt out and you miss the deadline, you have no way of opting back in, and it's pretty much impossible to pass this course without having that environment. So that environment is both the digital textbook and activities, and I can briefly show you a little bit of that later. Otherwise, you will have the ability, everything else that we do in the course, you will have the ability to have it freely accessible. So everything, a lot of the courses hung around Jekyll and Hyde, all of that material, both the literature book and then all the various adaptations and film that we're going to be looking at and talking about, you have access to those freely. And then pretty quickly in the course, you'll be selecting a pair of texts that you will be studying for the course, and some of those texts are freely available, and others, so say for example you decide you want to study Hunger Games, you will be responsible for purchasing the novel and getting access to the film. So all that to say is, once you purchase the McGraw text, everything else you can do without spending any more money. Other stuff, let's quickly go down to grading policies. Homework, you'll notice, is worth a lot here because the homework activities will build you towards these paper project activities. So each week you will be doing a variety of activities, and again, I'll show you that, but just wanted to say that this is this. One thing I do want to draw your attention to, late work. Normally I'm a softie, I admit. I've been teaching online for almost 2 decades at this point. Normally I'm a softie. However, normally I teach classes that are capped under 25 students. With this many students, we cannot have you submitting late work. So please keep that in mind. Please schedule your week accordingly. You will have all week to do it, but if you wait until Wednesday to start your work and then you have a question, and if Daniel, Mark, or I cannot answer your question in time, that is not our fault. You have a whole week to do the work. So for this class, I suggest that you start early. And so if you have questions about the homework, or if something's not working, there's time for you to email us. We figure out what the problem is and go forward. Spend time with the syllabus. Please do. I will scroll to the very bottom. It does include, here we go. It does include the list of deadlines. So you'll see again, I forgot, I decided this morning to change that. Change it. The first check-in is this Saturday, so you have a few days, but otherwise everything else is Wednesdays. So, and 11:59. So that means you have all day Wednesday to submit it, but the minute the clock ticks over to Thursday, make sure your work is in. Okay, back to the course environment, about the course. Connect help info, so that McGraw thing I told you, there's a bunch of information here. If you get stuck logging into the digital textbook, these people will help. And here's lots of resources to help. And then finally, the project text list. This is that pairings you'll get to pick from. Here's our working draft. Please note in red up here, Daniel, Mark, and I are still fine-tuning this list. But you'll see on this list that things, for example, Dracula, the text, because it's out of copyright in the public domain, you can find it freely available on the web. The library has streamed the Francis Ford Coppola version, and that means you have free access to this. But, for example, Divergent here, yeah, if you choose that text, then you were the one responsible for finding those materials. Okay, I think I went through about the course stuff. Here is the digital textbook over here on the left. When you want to log into this, you'll click the purple link here, McGraw-Hill Campus. It will, every single time, you'll have to click, it's early, click on the connect button here. And then it should take you into the environment. The first time you log in, you will probably have to put in a username and password. Please, please, please use your UA email address as your username. And you can make up your own password. Okay, so here's Connect. And again, so just reminding you that there's multiple activities. So what you're seeing right here is for Chapter 2, LS, the Learn Smart. It's a digital version of the textbook, so as you're reading, it will also pop up questions as you're reading. So that's how you'll read. And then Chapter 2, Interactive and Quiz, are basically digital interactive and quiz questions. And again, it's to get you engaging with the material. In later chapters, some of these interactives actually have video clips associated with them. And please realize that the point of this is just to make sure you understand how film works and learn about things like editing, shot composition, angles. So then you can talk about it when you post discussion boards or when you write your papers. And then right now you won't see this. The little I here on my icon is crossed out, meaning the students can't see this. But the little round reading thing here is that power of process activity. And what that'll be later is readings that come from journal articles or academic text or academic books, and the power process basically helps guide you through the reading, so you're not just reading it blind and have no idea what you're doing, trying to get from it. So again, please do not opt out of this environment, because you will not have the ability to opt back in, and you need this to pass the class. Back to table of contents. The main thing, kind of once you've started the course, what should happen is you hit the course, you see if there's a new announcement, you go to content, you go to schedule due dates, and there will be a listing of all of the work that's due for the class. And again, check-in and due date number 1 are this first week. Otherwise, everything else is going to be on a weekly basis. Again, do not freak out. Your version only shows check-in and due date number 1 because the rest of these aren't quite ready for your consumption yet. But when you go in, what you will get is basically a laundry list of things to do. The first week or so, there's some odd things like, read the syllabus, go introduce yourself in the discussion board, get set up on various technologies. And so that, again, the first couple weeks is always overwhelming because you're figuring everything out. And so give yourself time to do that. And then it also just has getting started stuff. But then once you get going, things should become a little repetitive. So for example, you'll see things like engage with Chapter 2, which means read Chapter 2 of film form in the textbook. And it's saying, remember, we just saw that Chapter 2 had 3 different activities in the McGraw link. So this is what will be due by next Wednesday. You will need to read the first 4 chapters of Strange Case of Jekyll and Hyde, the link out to the digital version of the book. You can pick up a paper version if you like. They're around, easy to get in libraries, used bookstores. Then you will have activities that you have to do. I am going to make a separate video about coding and hypothesis, so don't freak out about that right now. And so just work your way down the list to do the work. And again, give yourself time, because if something doesn't make sense or something doesn't work, it's technology. There's close to 130 of you. Issues will arise. Give yourself time to contact us so we work it out. One thing I do want to draw your attention to under discussions, so I just up here in the horizontal menu bar across the top, I hit discussions. At the very top of this is one discussion board, this general discussion, comments, questions, help. When you have questions about the class, please, please, please post them here. Or, I mean, obviously there was the syllabus. If you have a question about the syllabus, post it in the syllabus. But if you have something else, post it, oops, sorry, wrong one. Post it here, because if you have that question, chances are a few of your 130 plus classmates have the same question as well. So post your question here, and then hopefully Daniel, Mark, or I can get in there quickly and respond to it. If a classmate knows the answer, by all means, classmates go in and respond to one another. Please also note that if you email Daniel, Mark, or I, we will not, unless it's a question of kind of a personal nature, so it's specific about specifically you, or one of your specific assignments. Chances are what we will do is we will copy the question, post it here, answer it here, and then tell you to go read the answer over here. Again, the idea is if you have a question, then chances are others have questions, and we want people to benefit from that Q&A. It's the same type thing that would happen in a regular face-to-face classroom, right? That if one person has a question, everyone benefits from hearing the question asked and hearing the instructor answering it. So this discussion board here is trying to replicate that phenomenon. Okay, I think this is enough to get you started. The first couple weeks there will be a lot of videos from me kind of giving you suggestions on how to navigate, how to get through, and more often than not, if there's questions about I'm struggling with something, I'll actually give you a video response. Ooh, on that note, I'll end on this note. If you're struggling with something on the internet, something's not quite working, one thing that I ask is that when you send something or you post something here in the discussion board that you're stuck, consider, or please seriously consider, including a screenshot. So instead of just you trying to describe what's going on, you include a screenshot so we can see what's going on. And if you just Google how to screenshot, there's a delightful website, howtotakeascreenshot.org, that includes up here on the top all these various instructions on how to take screenshots in different devices. So again, if you get stuck, please include a screenshot when you get stuck, because that'll help us. And honestly, if it's something that's D2L, you probably want to UTIS, I never get that acronym right. Send them a screenshot, and if it's something that's really cranky with Connect and we can't help you, Connect's going to want, the McGraw people are also going to want the screenshot. So get in the habit. If you get stuck with all this stuff, take a screenshot. It'll help everyone troubleshoot that much faster. Okay, that's enough. I have no idea how long this is going on, but it's been too long. Thank you. I'm excited to work with you this semester and get started.